What are we going to do? I mean, she looks like that horrible, horrible woman from Midsummer.
I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to do.
I got it. I know what we need.
What?
We need a nail gun.
A nail gun?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Oh, I get it. So we invite them in, and then get them nice and comfortable. All right, and then we just sneak up behind them and just go, Fitcher.
No.
What?
We get a nail gun and we try and nail the door shut so they can't get in. Jesus, man. I mean, there's no need to go whole double homicide on us.
Yeah, but seriously. Her?
Well, it doesn't hurt to have a plan B.
I know it does. I suppose it does. What are you thinking?
Have we got any plastic sheeting?
We might.
Maybe movies. It is I, and it is him.
Me?
Hello, welcome back to Maybe Movies. You know who we are by now, I hope. Welcome back, and of course we are up to our second show of the week, and our second movie of the month.
Yes.
Flash!
Wow.
At the Temple of Doom. Before we begin, as always, going to do a very quick shout out. This one is for our old friends who are going from strength to strength, as they have been doing for quite a while. This is for James and Danielle from Unstable TV.
Oh, hey guys, how you doing?
They've been posting loads of little shorts and stuff on their Instagram and stuff as well, and reels and things, which are quite funny.
Awesome.
And yes, Danielle, fantastic revenge. Much justified.
But okay, now I need to know.
They did these two shorts where James, they were in McDonald's, and he got a McDonald's barbecue sauce dip, put it in the bottom of a drink with a straw in it.
Oh, you evil, evil man, you. That's just nasty.
So in retaliation, she gave him a glass of Coke that she'd heavily laced with vinegar.
Well, I guess it all worked out in the end, then,
Yes.
didn't it?
So as always, guys, thank you. Keep up the great work, and I don't know, maybe one day soon, maybe we'll make a trip to Dublin and say hi. We're looking now at Flash Gordon. So there's Flash, Dale, and Short Round in the plot of Temple of Doom. There is a couple of things though that we need to address first.
Yes.
First thing is, so this is obviously, we're taking this as Flash, but set in 1980. So that's going to change things straight away. I think we can still do it.
Right.
Well, because we've moved the action of Flash to the 30s, it makes logical sense that we are looking at the 80s version of Flash.
Okay, yeah, right. I didn't assume that, but I can see what you're saying.
So the obvious thing is, India gained independence in 1947,
Mm-hmm.
and has been a republic since 1950.
Yes.
So no Maharaja. But I think I've thought of a way around that.
I was going to say, at this point, we're starting to cause ourselves a lot of problems.
We are, but again, it has to be the conditions that the movie is set in to be set in this time.
Right.
I think there's a way around it. My suggestion would be we have somebody who claiming to be a hereditary heir to the Maharaja of Pankot Palace. They've allowed him to take the property back as part of possible tourist attraction. See how the Raj used to be, this kind of thing. And then you can have, because we wouldn't have the British army, it would have to be a contingent of the Indian army in the area.
Right, okay. All right, I'm just going to have to go with you at the moment because I don't see where this is going.
I'm just trying to find things that would be logically acceptable for the new time period that we're in, or for the time period that we're in, that allows for...
Why don't we just because movie? Because we did that for Gordon a couple of times.
In what way?
At the beginning of the movie, we went because movie to make him work in that timeline. I'm not sure that moving Indy to the 1980s is...
We're not, because we're taking Flash Gordon as he is in that film, which is set in 1980.
Sorry, yeah, all right.
Otherwise, it defeats the object of what we've done, because we've moved the action of Flash the movie back to the 30s to be in line with...
I'm gonna say this, man. It feels like we're being racist here. If we're setting up that scenario in a post-colonial world, we're blaming the Indians for the thuggy.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. They don't know anything about that.
Oh, right.
That wasn't what I was suggesting. God, no, not at all.
That's what I was worried about.
No,
Sorry,
all I'm saying is somebody has turned up and said, I am the hereditary heir to Pankot Palace. Obviously there isn't anymore because they are a republic. But give me the castle back. He can call himself Maharaja in name only. We will set it up so they can see the opulence that used to exist in the Raj before the English on the surface as a cover for the thuggy happening underneath.
Right, that makes so much more sense. Sorry,
Jesus, man, your face had me worried there.
No,
have I said something bad?
I was like, am I reading this wrong? Am I?
No, that's all. No. The
Right,
cover
okay.
is, we're going to do
understand.
this so you can come, people can stay, there's dancing and all this lovely stuff, what India used to be like before the British.
Okay. No, that makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
No, that works for me.
So the people who are at the dinner, for example.
So I think you should
Thank
have
you.
a star.
Yeah.
That's successfully transferring two different eras is not a small thing.
Oh, brilliant. Because then I thought the guys at the dinner, I know we're leaping ahead a bit, but I'm saying the guys at the dinner, potential investors in this scheme.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yep.
Potential potentates.
Yeah. And then you've still got, as I said, we can have a contingent of the Indian army in the area doing manoeuvres to replace the British army.
Okay, right. Yeah. To be honest, the British army, they're only there for that one scene and then they're gone again.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't matter at all. So yes, I understand what you're saying. Sorry, it took me a moment. That was a bit of a misunderstanding there, miscommunication. Thank you.
So we still get the beginning as it happens. They meet at this small airfield. They get picked up and they take off. This is the first real problem.
Lao Shou.
Yeah, because we don't have Lao Chi and we don't have a Ming doing Superman through the cockpit. So this is the first problem: is how do we get rid of the pilot? Is it a rival football team that want to put paid to Flash? But that's just dumb.
Part of me wants to go, like, maybe something else interferes with one of the engines, and in a panic, they take the parachutes and dive out. So, like, a goose flies into one of the engines, and the engine dies. And instead of being sensible pilots and landing the plane, they panic and take the parachutes. Does that work?
The flying that I can see with that, one of them really idolises Flash, and would he leave his hero to die? He has him sign a thing for his son, doesn't he?
All right. Okay. This is a bit out there, but Asian families are known for being pretty out there when it comes to the things that they idolise and adhere to. Mm-hmm. So he could be one of those Chinese people that really loves baseball or really loves football and really, really wants to get his son an autograph, and he won't leave Flash alone.
So we play up so he becomes a...
So we start in the club with Lao Shou, but Lao Shou is trying to strong-arm his way into a conversation with Flash.
We don't have that though, do we? Because the beginning, as we said, the beginning of the film will be the same as Flash.
All right, okay.
Him and Dale meeting, getting on the plane, but we can still do that with just him and the pilot when he is a proper fanboy. Like, no, you need to do this.
But it's not him; it's his son.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's like, I'll do anything for my son, and he really loves you.
To the point that it gets annoying even for Flash.
Yeah.
Which again, don't forget, we do have Short Round as well, who is, as we said at the start in the pitch meeting, he is now the Jets mascot.
So when Lao Shou gets aggressive, Short Round bursts out from behind Flash and it's like...
Yeah, you leave him alone.
Leave him alone. You're wrong. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then when Lao Shou is...
When the plane gets damaged.
When the plane gets damaged. No, I mean, like... At the airport. I'm talking about at the airport.
Okay.
So, like, Short Round bursts from behind Flash's legs and starts going,
I see.
Get back
Yeah.
now. And, like, Lao Shou laughs at him and says, little child, you're younger than my boy. You don't understand. Pushes him back, with that hand on the forehead.
Yes,
saying,
I've got you.
And then Flash is like, oh, no, you don't touch a kid.
Yeah.
And that's when they get into a physical altercation.
And then the plane's about to go as it leaves. Then he gives the nod to the pilots at the front.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yes. And somehow then we've managed to shoehorn Lao Chi into both films. Fantastic.
Well, he needed to be somewhere.
He needed to be, yeah. So we get the entry the same. I think obviously the difference here slightly is Flash can fly, but it doesn't make any difference because the engine's out.
Yes, because they dumped the fuel.
They dumped the fuel as well.
Yeah.
But, so we're going to stick with that as opposed to something flying into the plane.
Yes.
Okay, no worries. Again, I think we are going to have to because a little bit of a look. Certainly, modern planes don't carry a dinghy. So we're going to have to because
movie of it. Yeah.
I thought with that as well. Again, just to big him up.
We could just say that's a really old plane.
Oh yeah. I'm just again. I was
it's
in my
a plane
head
from
it was,
the 60s or something like
that. Yeah,
that
makes sense. Yeah, I was going to say that. I think again, just to give him a bit more agency. I mean, no, he does have a lot anyway. It's Short Round who finds the dinghy.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
because I always loved that. Again, as a kid, I kind of washed over it. Watching it again now as an adult, I suddenly noticed he doesn't wait. He goes off and has a look straight away for more parachutes.
No more parachutes!
So
he doesn't wait to be told, which is really cool.
Let's just cover the relationship between Flash and Short Round.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that he's come to China to get away from things, to get on holiday, and Short Round is one of his fans. Stop it! Stop it! Both of you!
Sorry, you were saying?
What was I saying?
He's come to China to get away from things.
Short Round is a fan of his as well. Mm-hmm. But he's like the opposite of Lao Shou, that he made friends with him, and so he is that guy to Flash.
Okay, that sounds good. So we're saying that it's very much they don't know each other as well.
Short Round is his guide to the Asian world.
Yeah. And he's given him the chance to come back with him because when he finds out that he has no family and he's literally living rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's kind of taken... Does a bit of a Madonna and tries to take him in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the way we should go with that.
Yeah, I like that very much. And we're happy that the set piece with the dinghy down onto the mountainside, that will all run through the same.
Yeah, that's on rails.
Which will
it's
take
when
us...
we get to the village it starts to get a bit wobbly, and I do mean a bit wobbly. Nobody speaks the lingo.
My answer to that would be that Dale is a travel agent, but she's assigned to an airport in Southeast Asia, so would have a smattering of Hindu.
Oh, that's a good call. I like that. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that works. Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
It may be that she's like, I'm not sure that the dialect isn't quite what I know, but I think they're saying this, and it will be near enough, because there are moments when they speak English anyway. So
of course, yeah.
The only real problem that I thought, the other problem with this, is that none of these guys are going to know what the Shankara stones are.
No, they're not.
But I did think about that. We don't worry about that. We just think it's their village rock. And then we can have Mulharam say something about it later.
So instead of Shankara, it should be sacred. It should just be sacred stone. Instead of Shankara, because he wouldn't recognise it, because he's not an archaeologist.
Exactly. So that also will then heighten things when they see the three brought together later on. And it will also mean, if we need to, that's a piece of exposition that we can have Mulharam deliver to them later.
Yes, of course. But we're getting ahead, because that's an Act 2.
That is an Act 2, yes.
Yeah. We managed to get through the village interaction.
I did wonder if would the village be any more modern, but I suppose it's not. We're up in the mountains, it's remote.
Have you seen some of the pictures
exactly.
of how people live in...
I thought the only thing I could think of is possibly we might see the back end of an old 60s car tied to a donkey or something.
That
I
would totally agree with. Something that connects it to the modern times without actually,
but still
showing it off.
Still very much set, very much in the.
That would be really good. That would work.
I think we get the same thing. They're reluctant to go until the little boy appears, and
because that proves that it's serious.
Yes.
He's not just lying.
And Flash will go.
Yeah, of course he will. He doesn't want to see a child hurt.
No.
We go on an elephant ride.
We go on the elephant ride. Again, I think, generally speaking, in this, I don't know if we'll get as much slapstick, because Dale isn't that sort of comedy that Willie is.
I think it's going to be a bit of both. We will get less comedy from Dale, because she's less of a shrieker.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Flash isn't an archaeologist, and he doesn't know about these animals. So she'll be freaking out, and he'll be freaking out in a slightly different way.
Yeah, trying to put a brave face on it, but that kind of guy very much out of his element.
Well, it's like, because she goes from one side of the camp to the other, to another, and he'd be following her, putting out the fire of what she just shrieked at while she's going off to shriek at something else.
Okay.
And then he follows her to shriek, and she shrieks at something else, and he has to thump something, and it just goes around the camp until she finally collapses in front of the fire.
That's cool. I mean, I had a different suggestion. I was going to suggest maybe that scene, instead of being that kind of slapstick set piece, it's more of a romantic scene, because they very quickly fall in love with each other.
Oh, yeah. No, we're missing that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
And he's already saved her life, out the plane.
A couple of times, yeah.
So I don't know whether we get a more romantic scene with Short Round going...
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Have a star.
Yes.
You're right. It shouldn't be the way it was in the movie. It should be It should be different. Flash is so much more earnest than Indy is.
Yes.
But that brings us to the Kali Shrine.
Don't come up here.
It does, and the end of Act 1.
The end of Act 1.
Which again, I think is going to be the same. I think he'd be a little bit more disgusted, obviously. He would put a brave face on it.
He'd put a brave face on it, and of course, the riders are going to run away with the elephants and disappear into the undergrowth.
Just a trail of elephant shit all the way back to the village.
So they're just going to be stuck in the brush.
Mm-hmm.
So there we are.
Yeah. Again, it's from here where it starts to get more interesting.
Oh yes, totally more interesting.
So we're going to find a place for. Oh dear!
Just don't make us do it.
She wants to touch your face.
Stop it! Stop it!
Anyway, as always, guys, please do have a wonderful weekend. Have a brilliant start to next week. We will be back next Wednesday with Act 2. Until then, take care.
As always, guys, DTFN.
Ba 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 ba.